It's Tromonte and friends. Let's have a conversation.
Hey, which camera I'm looking at? Keep this in, you don't gotta edit. Hey, it's Tromonte and friends. It's my roundtable discussion with people I consider family. I'm fucked up right now. I'm fucked up. I got my sisters here. I got my brothers here, my big brothers, my family. Fuck, man. Hey, let this bitch ass nigga in. Hey, for real, let him in. And I broski? Yeah. Hey, you could have kept the camera rolling. I don't care. It's rolling around. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Remus ain't here.
Hey, come sit right here, Joe.
I don't even feel bad no more. Yeah, little bruh. I'm glad you showed up late. I felt bad at first.
Hey, we still
I don't
rolling?
anymore. Go like this.
Hey, we still rolling? Yeah, man. Fuck that, man. Yeah. So it's a round table. I got all my family here. I'm just gonna get right into it, because this is my last one. Are y'all ready? Y'all comfortable? This shit nigga get rude. Hey, so my first question, because my memory bad. What kind of trauma?
Oh, God.
Hey, relax. It's gonna get better. What kind of trauma do you still struggle with today? And how does it affect you personally and relationship-wise? Anybody can talk? You want me to talk?
Yeah.
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Go ahead. You want to talk?
I got post-traumatic stress disorder, and it's hard for me to like deal with my emotions without smoking weed. Like I need to smoke weed.
Where did your PTSD come from?
I was in the Army for 6 years, and I have issues with parents and childhood things that I've now realized that is trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And I also realized that I have a dependency to weed because I don't want to take any other medication for it.
Right.
So when I don't smoke, it's hard for me to keep myself level. Like little things can really mess with me.
Okay. Anybody else? Hey, y'all. Well, we talk. Y'all quiet.
Yeah, go ahead, man. You came
Hey,
up.
man.
That's a heavy question.
Hey, look, man.
That's
heavy.
Yeah, go ahead, Jake.
I mean, with growing up in the hood, I watched the dope boys have all the women that pull up to high schools picking up women and stuff. So
I don't know what dope boy you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. We come from the same hood, so I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
Man, quit it.
Man, I don't know. I don't know. Go ahead, man.
stop it. But yeah, just watching the dope boys and just do their thing and have multiple women. So it just I ain't gonna say it rubbed off on me, but it just set the setting stone for me to actually try to do what they do.
Yeah.
But as I got older, realized that that's not healthy, that's toxic. So I just remained to stay single all my life. Just be a God fearing man.
Hey, I ain't seen nothing like that. Hey. That's deep though. Hey. Which camera I'm on? I gotta tell me which, cause I'm that one. Hey, so growing up, me and Jay come from the same hood. Growing up, my trauma come from, I was often overlooked. I told my mom this on the episode that she kind of overlooked me. Cause I did I put in a lot of hard work. So when I don't receive acknowledgement from people, I get upset because I know the type of pain I put in. That affect me professionally too, because I tell the manager quick, like, hey man, these motherfuckers ain't working. You see what I'm doing, but you will acknowledge them, you won't acknowledge me. And I'm already a black man, so I'm already getting looked over. And then my wife, in my relationship, I used to get upset at her. I did eventually apologize to her, because when she wouldn't acknowledge the work that I was doing, I would get mad at her, but it really comes from my childhood. It's not necessarily her. And I do it at my friends too. They here, they can tell you. Sherron definitely can tell you, Jimmie. When I feel like they not, hey, I'm gonna get upset. I ain't gonna disrespect them, but that's where my quote unquote trauma comes from. Also, I got a lot of shit when I was younger, and a lot of motherfuckers didn't have my back, so that's why I don't trust nobody. I ain't talking about you. I'm saying personally. I ain't talking about you.
I was about to say, bro.
childhood trauma was just trauma.
Trauma.
I mean, honestly, I talked to my mom yesterday, and I told her I don't know how I survived any of the shit I survived growing up with her, and not like in a negative way, just like I'm the oldest, so I've always been like the man of our house, like since we were like, you can ask my brother and sister, they don't even look at me as like a sibling. Sometimes they look at me as like their dad, because I've always been like that. So like, I told my mom, like, I ain't have no safe place to like talk to anybody growing up. My safe place was like with me. So I told her I don't know how I was able to become everything that I became, because I had nothing as a kid, like literally nothing. And like, when I was like lashing out on like everything, they thought I was just like wow, like just crazy. It was just I had shit. I ain't had no daddy to talk to. My uncles were all doing shit that uncles do, so it was just me doing me. And I don't think I had no relationship trauma.
Be a fan.
Anybody else? No, Remus was.
Well, I got like abandonment issues from childhood trauma. So it's been times that like my mom left me, my dad left me. Well, not left me because they still here, but it's been points in my life where I feel like when they should have been a parent or been there, they wasn't. So it's affected me in my relationships. Like when you know something is completely dead or a relationship is dead, I'm usually the person that try to like hold on and make the relationship work just out of fear of going back to younger me and having that childhood trauma. So I try to avoid that by holding on to people. But through therapy, I'm like, fuck that shit. You can stay, you can leave. I'm happy that I, been through therapy to be able to like set my boundaries. Because at first I wasn't. Like I was just trying to like stay with a person when you know the relationship is dead.
I have to say it's really crazy you said that, because that's mine also, especially with men. Mine started with my father. I never realized that until I went to therapy. I don't know where the cameras are at, but yes, anybody watching this, it is okay to go to therapy.
Right.
It is a good thing. It helps you learn a lot about yourself. But I have that same issue. I don't trust men. As much as I want to get married someday, I don't feel like there's ever going to be a man that's really going to stick around. So I definitely have that same issue.
So you're single?
I'm very single, but the problem is, I'm a person that I love so hard, and I just pour and pour and pour and pour into another person. And I mean, I'll still have somebody basically telling me like, that, oh my God, you're so amazing, this and that, and they're still like, oh, at some point they're like, I'm out. And yeah, it starts to mess with you.
I can relate to that.
Maybe because you
We
didn't
should,
get
we should go on a date and talk.
What?
What you just say?
booty.
Did he just say give him?
He said because you ain't giving a booty head.
I didn't hear what happened.
He said because he ain't give up the booty.
That's definitely.
Oh, because you ain't giving booty head?
Oh, the booty.
Talking
You
about
know
because you don't
what?
eat ass. He said it's because you don't eat ass.
Okay, I don't eat ass.
God
I don't eat ass.
Damn it.
I'm good.
God
with
damn
that.
it. God damn it.
But since we are keeping it real, sex is definitely not it. I'm more like a man when I'm in a relationship, if I'm gonna keep it real.
Talk and talk.
Can we do
Hey,
it?
talk and talk. Talk and talk, then.
So yeah, but no, that
Okay, so the right
I
part.
completely relate to you, because I have the same exact issue, for sure.
Anybody else with trauma?
Mine is dealing with anger. Still to this day, which he know me. You know what I mean? He know me on that level. He's seen me on that level. But my big thing is my anger. It's a respect thing for me. If I talk to you with respect, or I want you to talk to me the same way. But if it go left, it's gonna go left quick. And see, he'll tell you, mine when it go left, it ain't no coming back going right. It ain't no coming back going right. It's gonna take a lot to calm that down. But I mean, I got better over the years, which my dad was in the military. He was in the Marines, Vietnam. So what he used to tell me, hey man, take your ass outside, man. You got a whole compound in the back, which I got a whole gym in the back of my house. Take your ass out there. I'm locking you out there for 2 hours. Get the stress off. You know what I mean? Then come back, try it again. Then when I got to high school, reverted to football, and a lot of shit like I said, he'll tell you a lot of shit he seen me do. It's just, it wasn't intentional. You know what I mean? But I always used to look at the man across from me like, listen, it's only one way this game gonna go. I'm leaving this game or you leaving this game. But one of us leaving on a stretcher.
That's right.
One of us leaving on a stretcher. So we either gonna play like I'm playing or I'm breaking something mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but then, like I say, it got to a point where my cousin, she definitely helped me out a lot. She works for DCL, and she was like, man, listen, you should look into, you know, like what I have a meditation ball. You know what I mean, that I carry with me sometimes, and I use, and a lot of that kind of takes the stress and anger away. That, and then, like I say, continuously gym oriented. If I'm going working out, or if I'm, like I told you this morning, coming from a training session, because I also train, I'm a personal trainer.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps me out a lot too as well. So, I mean, reverting to that, like you said, therapy, it helps. I did anger management, believe it or not, I did it for 3 months. But shit, I thought I was fucked up. It's some people in there worse than me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it all revert back to one thing though. It's just your attitude, man. You know what I'm saying? Being able to control it when it's needed to be controlled. Because at the end of the day, you can find yourself downtown quick. You know what I mean? As a black man, you know what I mean? I was in that position. I was locked up before. You know what I mean? So, and an old head told me, he said, man, you don't have no business in here, brother. He said, because this place belongs to people who really don't give a damn about life. He said, but you come from a background, you have a degree. You're not a dummy. You know what I'm saying? You're a working man. Mm-hmm. You have a daughter. You know what I mean? You do everything that you need to do on a necessary basis. Say, man, once you get your ass out of here, don't bring your ass back. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, and I follow that. I follow that still to this day. I don't like to give people my time like that, especially if you're going to waste it. Yeah. If you're going to bullshit me, if then you want to see the other side. I ain't trying to show you that. That's too much energy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's real. Hey, so for those people who didn't talk about their trauma, how do you deal with someone else's trauma, like somebody that you dated or somebody you're in a relationship with? Because I tell you, it's hard for me. Once my wife told me about her trauma and things that bother her, yeah, let this nigga in, man. You keep the camera on, keep talking. Yeah, so.
I mean, I piggyback off of, similar to what they were saying. I don't know necessarily specific moments, but I do know, like, I grew up in a dynamic household. So, like, for me, grow up in the projects is one thing, but then, like, I'm also around women, and the one male in my life that's raising me is a gay man, right? So, being black, raised by a gay man, it had like this weird effect, because I would see women together, men together, and it never bothered me. And I was like, okay, well, so as I got older, he'll tell you, which is one of the reasons why we got close, people would question my sexuality. Like, pretty much from high school, like, on, like, oh, you gay? I was like, well, my cousin, she's gay, we happen to go to the same school. I'm not gonna not sit with her at lunch because she gay and that person is this and that. So I think it got to a point where I just genuinely didn't, like, trust people. So when it came to relationships, to the point of what you said, I always felt like at some point, based on, like, whether it be my openness or, because I don't feel like I'm one way or the other. I'm like, I've always been pretty even keeled. I'm a registered independent. Like, I vote Republican and Democrat. Like I'm like that in real life. So it's like, when you're trying to date somebody, I feel like sometimes they want you to be on, like, one side or the other. It's like this whole vaccine thing. If you ain't vaccinated, guess what? I don't give a fuck. If you are, cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm not like, ooh, you got the cooties. Like, you still solid. Like, that's your character. You know what I'm saying? We talking about shots and shit. But anyway, don't get me started on that. So I'm done talking about this.
Hey, but, yeah, I was saying, with my wife, when she told me about her trauma growing up and stuff that makes her uncomfortable, it made me uncomfortable. Because then, especially if you're married, so if you want to be with somebody long term, you're going to have to be more understanding than you think. So you get with someone, it's all good. Once you get deep, me and my wife been together 10 years total. We're on our 6th year of marriage. So you get this deep, you're still learning about somebody who's constantly evolving. And it could be a real tough time. That's why a lot of marriages don't last. Aside from like cheating and all that extra shit, you be with someone and you like, can I really tolerate this or put up with this or be understanding this for like 30, 40 years? When both of y'all are changing. So you see good, I know y'all see us on like social media posting like we both got our degrees and all that stuff, but y'all don't know the pain that come behind that. It's not all smiles and pictures and glamour and glitz and stuff, man. A lot of tears, a lot of, I'm gonna be real, this is my last episode, a lot of me, I'm about to leave a marriage. She'll tell you, I'm about to leave, it's over. It's because I didn't know if I could like really understand where she was coming from. And then she's a woman. So you project, when you're a man, a lot of men think we're logical. We think we're logical. Until you get with a woman, and she'll kind of point out the chinks in your armor, that you're not always right.
Woo.
That's fact.
Yeah, you're not always right.
Okay.
You gotta be willing to listen to a woman when she's speaking. Especially when she's speaking up and if she says something more than once. She owns something, because they have an intuition we really don't have. So, but I was like, man, I'm about to leave, man. We can go downtown, get these papers. Go outside, get these papers, man. It's over. So it ain't really been her who wanted to give up. It's actually just been me. And I don't know, y'all can take it any kind of way, but that just shows you how hard marriage is. So when you see people, I'm pretty sure I've heard people married, they're like, man, we don't argue. They're not really interactive. They're not really engaged like that. Because you're going to argue. And you're going to want to leave. And that's a testament to the journey, though. But how do y'all deal with people y'all are dating who have trauma of their own? Do you like be dismissive of them, like once they tell you their trauma, like I can't deal with it? Because I think that's honest. If you like I can't deal with it up front, or are you willing to embrace the other person's trauma if it's going to blossom into something good?
I think that's what my problem is because by myself, I feel my childhood trauma, I'm controlling, right? I never thought of that before. But knowing that I'm the toxic person or can be the toxic person when the person that I'm dating tells me about their trauma, I'm trying to control it to where I'm trying to help them out. But it's not helping them, I'm just doing it to manipulate to where it benefits me. So I have to learn, or I had to learn to back off so that I could be understanding. I don't want to be understanding, I want to work it out the way I know it can work out, but they have to learn that themselves, right?
Yep.
So I've had to learn how to back off a little bit and let things play out the way they need to play out. So, yeah.
Anybody else? Because I'm going to get to the wild shit. So,
I mean, I tried my only real relationship that I've had. I did therapy.
did it help?
Yeah, so I learned about my love languages, which I'm from the hood, so we ain't talk about shit like that. It was like love languages, what's that? So I didn't know anything about that, but then like as I learned about my love languages, and I think like it allowed me to communicate like better with her. Even though it didn't like work out, I still felt like I learned like a lot from like that, because I had never at any point said to myself, you know what, let me go to premarital counseling, like to even like have me personally even had that thought. I ain't gonna lie, I was like, yeah, alright, I must really fuck with you. So for it not to work out, you know what I'm saying, it kind of stung a little bit, but I also looked at the benefit of it, like in the next relationship, whenever that is, that's something that I think I would want to do, and I think I'd be like upfront about it from the beginning, like, yo, I'm dating with a purpose at this point in my life. I want to get married. I'm trying to have 2 daughters, so fuck with your boy. And, you know, and then go from there. But I want to do it the right way. Marriage first, then kids. I ain't trying to be nobody baby daddy. And then, you know, God willing, you know, whoever she is, we make it happen.
So my next question is, let me talk about marriage. How do y'all feel about marriage? Do you feel people should consider polyamorous relationships more today? Do you think you're going to get married if you're not married? How do y'all feel about it? Y'all can be honest. If you're married, you be like, fuck this shit, I'm gonna get divorced. Say whatever you want to say.
I know, so y'all married niggas then can't really speak
I
freely.
can say whatever I want to say.
Hey, you can't really speak freely though. You can't really speak freely.
But how do y'all feel about relationships in general. Anybody can
So
see
you with the police?
I still believe in marriage.
one man, one woman.
Yeah.
Woman, man.
I'm not with that polyamorous shit. I'm not gonna cap. Like, I thought about it for a second because I like girls from time to time. You know what I'm saying? Like, from time to time, I can't deal with no bitch long term. Period. I can't. I don't like women enough to deal with them long term because when you're in a polyamorous relationship, you're supposed to be a team. I'm not gonna look at you as a bestie and then
You don't have to go that route.
I mean,
Yeah,
I know y'all
y'all
can live
have to
separate
be a
lives,
team,
but I'm
y'all
gonna
can-
feel like
yeah.
I'm not gonna.
We can all stay together.
Honestly, it might be like abandonment issues, like people say, but I feel like I need to be prioritized to a certain degree
Hell yeah.
when I'm in a committed relationship with somebody because I'm not gonna give you 50. I'm gonna give you the whole 100. So I expect that in return. So you can't give me the whole 100 when you have another bitch right here. I mean, not a bitch.
Yeah.
When you have another woman, you can't give me the whole 100 because you have to give her. You have to give her 100 too. You can't give 200.
Right.
You're not gonna. You're gonna get exhausted at some point, or somebody's gonna feel like you're giving more on one end than the other, and it could be like dealing with security issues, insecurities, and things like that. If a man can fully make me feel secure while having another woman on the side, with me not feeling any kind of questioning anything or feeling like I'm losing anything that I could get from somebody else that would give me 100, then I would feel open to thinking about doing, that type of situation. But if I feel like you're lacking somewhere, if I feel like I gotta question something, because I'm a Capricorn, I'm gonna get in my head. So if I feel like,
So you need a rich man.
no, I don't need a rich man. I'm not a monetary person at all.
Oh, okay.
I need somebody that's gonna give me the same that I'm giving them. I need the same effort that I'm giving you to be returned to me. Period.
Preach.
And I'm not anymore. I'm not trying to I'm not like a person that is caught up on that type of thing because I didn't grow up with a lot of money. So I know how to make some shit shake in the kitchen with little to nothing. You know what I'm saying? I love time. I love genuine thought. Like let me cook or something, or let me plan a little picnic day, or something that's just showing me that you're thinking about me. I like that type of shit. I'm not but if you're not giving me that whole thing, I can't what do you want?
Anybody else with marriage?
See, I have thoughts that are kind of everything combined. Like my own trauma, dealing with someone else's trauma, and marriage. So, sorry if this gets a little complex. But, so starting with someone else's trauma, one of my things that's my own trauma is abandonment issues. But I'm also a healer. And that's a problem. Because I honestly can be too understanding of someone else's trauma, and I want to fix them, and I want to make them feel good and make everything better. And then to piggyback off what she said, I'm always the one holding on when I shouldn't be. I've been with felons, I've dealt with people that have mental health issues, I've done it all. And, to piggyback off what you said as well, I think in my life, I want to meet someone that's going to match my effort. And I believe in marriage personally, but I don't think marriage is for everybody, and I think that's part of the problem. A lot of people these days go out here and act like, oh yeah, I want marriage, I want a family, but that takes work.
Yeah.
Some people just fall in love with the idea and not actually thinking that this is work every day. And my belief is you don't choose to fall in love with someone, but to stay in love with them, that's a choice. Because you have to keep things hot. You have to keep things exciting. And I think this generation, it's just hard to find someone marriage worthy.
I agree with that.
It is. It's very hard. And
After
as she
counseling
said,
and everything, I'm
security-
still striking out.
but security is not just monetary, because I agree with her. That's what I want in my life. A man that's going to make me feel secure, meaning that I feel protected, that I know he's not going to quit on me when shit gets hard.
Security don't mean
That's
just financial.
security.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about
But is that
emotional
important?
security.
Keep it a buck. Is that how important is that? Because I know women say that, and I'm gonna just be honest.
Most women have jobs, though.
Me, you,
I disagree.
And I just feel like sometimes, because especially where I'm at in life now, I think I am more frugal towards women than I've ever been as I've become more successful. Because now I'm like, well, I'm the successful nigga now. I'm no longer the broke nigga or whatever. So you can't even come at me on some high and mighty shit. Not to say that that's your attitude, but I've come across women that's like, oh, well, you know what I'm saying, you have to be of a certain stature or
That's bullshit.
something along those lines. For me, it's I agree with you saying. I want somebody as a man to make me feel secure as well. But it's like, if I made you feel secure and I was a broke nigga, would you still fuck with me?
But you know my take on that is, I think.
Why can't we both have a job?
I
What the
think-
fuck?
There's a lot of women that fuck
We
with
would have jobs.
You said when times
Good
get hard.
jobs.
You said when times get
We
hard.
got good jobs.
What
Like,
I'm saying
no,
is
but-
you said when times get hard, so I'm just throwing it out there like life happens. So if a person
Exactly.
falls upon hard times, whatever, and you met a person in a stage in their life where they've been successful, like are you still that same person when I fall off a little bit? Because that's when you say feel secure.
You gotta be
That's
secure.
how secure I want to be. Like if I go from, oh, I'm making 6 figures to, oh, I'm making 40,000, whatever, can you still fuck with the nigga that make 40,000 and we going to Denny's instead of Fleming's?
But
I don't-
I love Denny's.
But finances,
So,
finances is something that is so. Finances is so temporary. You can literally be broke today, and you can be rich tomorrow, and you can
always
be
make
rich
money.
today and broke tomorrow.
And you could also die next week.
Right.
What
So
the fuck
why
does that even mean?
I've never understood why anyone in a partner, their number one thing is finances, because finances is temporary. And what good is it if you have all the money in the world, but you have no personality and you have no empathy for me and you're selfish? Like who cares about that? I never ever put finances at the top because that's a very temporary
Hey,
thing.
fellas,
When-
fellas, go ahead, Jamal.
Who do y'all think like really care about marriage, men or women? Like seriously.
More so women.
Because we're
No, because you just said like people in love. It's not people. It's women that is in love with being married. A nigga will go his entire life without fucking considering marriage if he ain't got to.
I want the ring,
1000%.
not the marriage.
But I know
I
men
want
that
the
are
ring.
married that are
Of
miserable.
course, but we're talking like when you're talking to these like these are general statements. So you have to take like the percentage. About 50%, less than 50% of men would not get married if it wasn't brought to them by a woman. And I'm 1000% sure that without even taking a vote.
Then what's your take on military men?
I wasn't military.
He-
So what is your question? What
Because
does that mean?
all the military men I know are in a rush to get married.
Oh,
I don't
they're
believe that.
idiots.
That's not true. No, they want the benefits. That's not. It ain't rush to get married for the love. They want that cash.
You get extra.
Yeah, you get more money. You know for
But
real.
let me ask you this
Look at
though,
that.
and thank you for your service, by the way. But let me ask you this then on your take, because I do know that benefits is part of it. But I have also had conversations with military men that want to be married because they want that security of feeling. I
They
got a
want
wife
you to
at
think
home.
that, so
You
that
gotta
you
also
agree to that.
understand, like,
That's true too, but-
as military men, a lot of us I joined at 23, so
Yeah.
I've already lived like a good chunk of like my whole phase already. So these be kids.
I joined at 18.
These be kids jumping into the military. So then you be a kid, you get around a sergeant that's like already 23, 24. He say, hey, they'll give you an extra $2,000 if you go marry the stripper up the street. They're like, shit, $2,000 stripper? I'm winning. So they'll go do it off rip. It's not even like you. Honestly, at 18, I tell my little cousins all the time, bro, like you don't need to be dating nobody. And that's just how I feel. Because you don't know shit about you, and you don't know shit, and she don't know shit about herself. You're gonna get in a relationship with somebody that's not emotionally stable to even like be I don't say worthy. Just it won't work.
That's that fresh
I would
childhood
say
trauma.
like
But don't you think then that actually takes away from the values of marriage when people are just marrying for the benefits?
Yeah, I mean
yes,
it
of
does.
course. That's why they quit
So-
to get divorced as well. Because shit, I only met you because I wanted the cash. That was easy.
Well, but and to the point, that's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is like when you initially meet a man, okay, for example, keep it in the buck. I find you physically attractive, right? So when I see you and I approach you, no, but I'm just saying, I see you and I approach you, right? That's the only thing I can go off of is just your physical attraction. Now when we start talking and then we have conversation, you be like, damn, this is a successful brother. He got this and that and that. Now, it's not to say whether or not you attracted me back first, but I approached you. So a man can only assume that, yeah, you fucking with me because of these things that I offer. Whatever, not necessarily in spite of. Whatever, that's all I'm saying is like, if I approach you and you see me pull up in a Benz, unless you assuming I'm a dope boy, whatever, your initial thought is, I don't give a fuck what nobody say, oh, he got some type of money, because you're not pulling up in Mercedes without some type of money.
There's broke men that can dress really well and look rich. There's broke men that can wear their brokenness really well, and you would never know that they're broke. It don't matter like how they dress. Everybody still has a type and has a taste.
Dog got something to say.
Go ahead, bro.
So piggying back off of what you just said, as far as marriage and money wise, I had my real dad, 6 figures, wealthy, longshoreman, military, stepdad, military, head custodian. Now, the value within that, I come from a married home, 25 years. My mom married a man making 40,000 instead of the man that's making more. Reason being, my real father was a true dickhead. 22, looked me dead in my face. Never wanted you as a son. 15 kids, not one did he raise. So it's a lot of shit you have to look into when you looking into a person like that versus a person. Stepdaddy, true father, came in my life at 3 months. Ever since, took off from them.
Yeah.
2 gentlemen back there met him before. Came to a lot of high school games. You know what I mean? So it's a lot to look into a person. If as a woman, if you looking into a person's pockets deeply, it's not gonna last long. You know what I mean? It definitely won't. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll let you have it. Go ahead, big bro. I feel like we're gonna say the same thing.
No, go ahead, big dog.
Talking. I'm gonna just let you
Go ahead, big dog.
Go ahead, big dog. That's amazing. But like, granted, like I don't even understand how people get into these relationships with people that they don't find themselves compatible with. Like you learn that shit. You should learn that the first 2 weeks. Like, nah, I don't need to be here.
That's true.
Thank you.
It's not that hard to know who the fuck is you. I mean, at least not for me. I really character well, so it don't take me long. So
You ask a lot of questions too.
But not everybody know how to navigate in a relationship to find out who that person truly is. A lot of women don't know how to communicate. A lot of women have not had their daddy around to know how to communicate or know what to look for in a man. They never had a good example, so they believe in bullshit.
But this is why I go back to you know yourself first. Right?
But do they?
Yeah, but that's on the woman to decide. That's why I tell my cousins, do not date when you're that young. If you don't know yourself, when you know yourself, you can go talk to anybody else and can't nobody manipulate who you are. Can't nobody change you when you know you. That's point blank period. So like getting into relationships with people that's like uncompatible is crazy to me. That's really a reflection of you not knowing what the fuck you is before you go out there and jump in whatever.
Yeah, and you could say that, but realistically, a lot of women think that they know themselves and they don't. So, like, still being, you can tell a woman that, and they could think, like, I know who the fuck I am, I got my shit together, and that bitch be broken and stop crying that night in her room.
That's a good point, because a lot of men think they know themselves, too.
Yeah.
And they don't.
They don't.
Yeah.
And to piggyback on what you said, people think when they have the external stuff that means that they know who they are.
Right.
And oftentimes that's not true. There are sometimes they know who they are. My brother Jahmal, like I say, he been in the military, he's been successful, he paid off his house young. But I know him. And he's been like the same nigga since I know him. And you can't tell him he's not who he is. But most people that I run into who have a nice car, who have a good job, who are on a successful career path, a lot of them don't know who they are. They know what they do.
They know what they can
so when
give.
you get into a conversation with them, like I do that, I'm like, well, what about you though? Like, what about you? You ain't say shit about you.
Right.
And you run into that on both sides. I will say that men, we have this like arrogance about us when it comes to dating women. I don't know where this comes from, but unless you extra successful, the man is not the prize. I know Jahmal would disagree, but I just told you how he is. I don't think the man is the prize.
I like him.
I don't think the man.
Why haven't we been sooner?
I think as a man supposed to lead, the woman is the prize. That would mean you cater to everything that she wants you to do because it go both ways.
Right, but a prize can be both ways too. Just because me and my mom would be talking about shit like this all the time. She always say women are a prize. I'm like, bro, like there's no way in hell you fuck with a nigga that not like. Even if I can take care of you, if a man can take care of you emotionally better than any other man has ever taken care of you emotionally, that's a motherfucker.
My brother Sean, okay, college degree, good looking brother, the whole nine. Chick meets him with 4 kids. Okay?
Oh,
Now tell me that ain't a motherfucking prize. Marries her.
Yeah.
Takes care of the 4 kids.
Yeah.
I tell her to this day, you the realest nigga I ever met in my life.
You're a real man
Because
for
me
that. You're a real
personally,
man for that.
I don't know. I'm a good man, but I don't know.
It take a real man to step in.
Yeah, bro. Like
do
so
that.
that's a prize. I don't want to hear that. Oh, it's just a woman. It's on both sides.
It's on both sides.
Nah, it go both ways, but I think the prize is the woman more so. That's what I think. Nobody gonna convince me otherwise. That's what I think.
And that's what I'm saying.
You said
I'm drunk. My next question, cause it was a little quiet on the trauma stuff. Each person, I'm talking about each person. So everybody can speak.
Go this
Go
way.
out,
I'm
eat
gonna
first.
get me a drink.
What's your greatest sexual strength? I'm gonna go at each person.
Sexual
You think your
strength?
best sexual? Yeah, y'all going around shit. I'm about to go get up. I'm gonna start with Jay first.
your greatest sexual
Your
strength.
greatest
Oh,
sexual strength. When you're in the bedroom, what's your greatest strength?
Oh my God.
Everybody, it's easy. We're gonna see. Go ahead, Jay.
I know mine.
I'll go. Let me see that.
Put that shit on.
Hey, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to please a woman, so that's my best strength.
Bro, you ain't about shit, boy.
Point blank.
That's your mirror.
So point blank period. Now go. Go
Jay,
ahead.
go, Jay. Here you go, man.
You can't.
I'm
No,
gonna tell
you're
you
not
like this.
slick.
When my mom, when I was 16, my mom found condoms in my room, and that day she like she called herself being upset, but really all she did was like threw an STD book on my bed and threw more condoms on my bed. And she was like, if you're gonna be out here fucking, fuck the shit out of them. I saw her like, you can ask for woman. That's what she said. She said like women have. She was like, if you out here fucking, girls talk to other girls, so don't be out here like.
Half-assed.
fucking- Yeah, she said don't be
Mhm.
bullshitting
Did I
about
tell you
it.
that?
Like if you're gonna do it, fucking do it to the max. So.
Don't let down.
And that's tough.
You can go to the
I was like,
dog.
bro, I used to be like, you will not have a conversation about Tromonte.
Oh man, mine for me is just basically a woman to tell you how to please her. Just listen. You gotta
Yes.
listen to her. You know what I mean? Listen to her body. Listen to her. She'll tell you what spot to
Come on
touch.
over here with you.
That'll make her wet.
Okay.
She'll tell you what spot to hit. That'll take her there. No, I ain't gonna get too deep in it. Go ahead.
I thought you was gonna come out with an R&B album.
Make sure you got that in
The
slow
crazy
mo,
thing
boy.
is, I was really about to say the same shit.
Okay.
So I
Y'all
was really
together?
about to. No.
Oh, okay.
What's your greatest strength though?
No, I was really about to say that is paying attention to body language because you can't suck every dick the same because a lot of niggas don't like getting their dick sucked the same. Some of them just want you to suck the tip of the dick. Some of them want you to get it down your throat. So you gotta learn what you like.
That's
it
true.
suck like, see, you like it and you suck like a lollipop. Some niggas don't want that. So you really have to pay attention to your man and understand what he like. He'll like you said, he'll tell you.
She'll tell you.
But I ain't gonna lie, my head game stupid. But okay.
Yeah, man.
Real shit. I'm very open, so I think like that's my biggest
So
sexual.
you're not nothing off limits.
I'll try anything once, as long as it's not gonna physically hurt me. Like I'm
You okay?
I'm very much open to try different things.
Okay, Amanda.
Kind
Side note, I ain't gonna say too much, but I talk to everybody here, but me and Amanda talk, so I'm just waiting to see if she say what she better
Oh,
say.
that I'm skilled. I know I'm skilled.
Oh, go listen to
No, I'm
that.
skilled.
Yeah.
I know I'm skilled. Damn, man, you really gonna put me on the spot. All right, I'm gonna be real. So the first thing I'm gonna say is I'm always very attentive to my partner, and I'm always thinking, how can I please you? But I feel like both parties should always be like that. That's the only way that sex is always gonna be good. Is if most people, both people are always thinking like that. How can I please you?
Okay. Go ahead, continue.
I believe that I have some great oral skills. Men don't lie. They will tell you. God, I can't believe I'm gonna say this on camera, but I gotta say it.
Say that shit. Say that shit.
I I think it's so wild that there are so many women that exist that don't like sucking dick, and I've talked to so many men that say they've never come from head. I'm like, I've never not make a man come from head. So like, how? You know what I mean? I'm just trying to figure that out. But don't get me wrong, I feel the same way about men that don't go down. Like, baby, you don't go down, you a little boy. You need to be doing that.
Oh, well, shit, I'm front to back with it then. I'm front to back with it. I'm front to back with it, baby. At the end of the day. See, but me, I'm different from a lot of guys.
What ain't management?
He got some other things to say. You got it, or you gonna let her go now?
Hey, I'm gonna let her go. Go ahead.
I think I've already said too much, but I'm sorry. I keep it real. That's all I know, man. That's all I know.
I'm just asking for the audience. Do you use two hands or just one?
Listen,
Everybody don't get. Everybody can't pick two hands, right? Come on now. Come on now.
Every man got a preference. Every man got a preference. So whatever the man like, that's what I'm gonna do.
Humble.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Humble.
Now you said whatever a man, and I'm gonna keep it 100.
If a man likes to get his ass ate, are you gonna do
I'm a
it?
traveling man. I like to travel around the house with you on me.
Right.
On the stand. You're strong as hell.
I ain't trying to make it no competition or nothing. I'm only $150. I model, I act, I got good money. You know what I'm saying?
I'm feeling good, dog.
I know you don't, brother, but yeah.
The whole house?
Hey.
Wow.
Listen, man.
Hey, Jalesa?
Go ahead, sis.
She's quiet, so she's quiet.
You gotta watch out for quiet.
Yeah, man.
What does that mean? You know, I think the biggest strength for me is that I am teachable. A lot of women, a lot of women are not teachable. And there are things that I haven't done, some things I don't know how to do, but I am very teachable and I can do whatever it is that you want, and I will work as hard as I can to be the best that you have ever had. Am I single? Yeah.
Wait. I got a question. Do you run? I got a question for you. Do you run into issues with that? Because a lot of men be like, I don't want to teach no bitch. I want a bitch to already know like what she doing. So like, do you do men have issues like with having to teach you?
To me, I feel like that's a double standard because homeboys that talk amongst each other, and if a girl is free, they be like, nah, I ain't fucking with her. But behind closed doors,
They love it. They love it. They love it when you had a whole phase already.
Nah, bro.
I'm not gonna fuck.
Yeah.
Regardless.
And it'll be like, nah, man, she played our whole song here. They having a conversation. And to piggyback off what you said, a lot of dudes, they ego won't let them, like, if they messing with a girl and they ain't doing something right, if she tell them that, they feel some type of way. And they don't learn.
A lot of times,
people do not take criticism well.
Especially dudes, because they hurt our ego. They be like, you know what I'm saying?
but a lot of the time, it's not really up to you to make me come because I need to already know how to make my own self come in order to be able to let somebody.
But how can somebody make you come if they don't know what you want? It is your job to let a man know
Exactly.
what
That's
it
what,
is
no,
that
that's
you
what
like.
I'm saying. I'm saying if a bitch can make her own self come, how can she expect any of these niggas to
However,
make
I can make my own self come.
But
And I do it all the
But what I'm
time.
saying is, you tell him, and then he feels some type of way, like, oh, I got this, I know what I'm doing. That's what I'm saying. They ego be like, oh, you know, I
I think both people need to be open though.
Yeah, I feel like, I feel like,
It's a lot of dudes that's not teachable. But if she come to you and is telling you what you supposed to be doing, take it for stride, bro. So next time around, you get into it.
I mean,
Go ahead. I know you're gonna disagree with it. Go ahead.
I feel like it's just a conversation. It's like a conversation. I mean, when you have sex with somebody, you have once you start having sex like frequently, you start learning the body naturally.
If
You
you
start
can't
learning your
talk to
partner's
your
body
partner,
naturally.
you don't need to be
Like,
having sex with them.
you of course, but you're gonna talk to them regardless. Like when you're in the moment, like you'll say like, oh, I like that. You know what I'm saying? And they'll remember that you said you like that.
Or you gonna
and that's
be
how you
dead
start
quiet.
learning shit like that. But I'm saying like you're gonna talk before you even have sex. You talk about what y'all talk about what each other like when you're before you start having sex. You start talking about like I like this, I'm into this, and then. No, not right. I'm talking about I'm talking about when you're committed. Like when you're,
I ain't got time for that. If you just fucking.
not just fucking. That's like when you're like into somebody. Yeah. I don't. None of that shit applies. You just fuck. You're trying to nut at the end of the day.
And you gotta voice it though when you don't like things too.
If you know you got something set up and you know you're gonna smash, you could go ahead and get one off right before.
Man.
And then, you know what I'm saying? That trip never fails. I'm just saying.
I need all of that.
Let's go to Sherron.
What's
Your greatest sexual strength?
Shrimp. Woo.
Let us know.
Strength. Wow. I would say
Steady long, steady wrong, sir.
Right.
I would say, wow, man,
Just say it,
hard,
damn it.
It is a
What's
hard
the name?
question.
Come at Sherron.
Yeah,
What's
go
the name?
ahead. Strength. Wow, it's
So
so
I
many.
think it's all an experience, right? So I feel like it has to do with what you're willing to do. You may not know, because some people say they like something. I think it would be open.
Mhm.
Open to what someone else might like, because I want to be able to pleasure you, because that's going to pleasure me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what I feel like. What are you open to?
I don't know.
I feel like I've been told. Women have told me they like the fact that I'm in control. So I don't know what that means.
I know what that means.
Dominant?
Oh, yeah.
I just leave it at that. So that's,
Dominant.
I've been told that on more than one occasion. So whatever that means, I take it as a compliment. So.
Well, I feel like
Dominance
women
is
sometimes want to be
nice.
independent, right? They're independent in their life. So that's one area where they don't want to be.
So to piggyback off of that, since we've been open and honest, so I recently found out about this thing called subs. Okay, now, I didn't know what this was until
Submissive. Women. Submissive.
Okay, this is a Tinder story. I was on Tinder. Okay, I was on Tinder. I met this woman, went out, and then she told me she was a sub. Now, at the time, I didn't know what the fuck this meant. Now, when we got, I thought substitute teacher. That's how I should have gone. So, I thought when we got to the crib, it was just like the basic, okay, we're going to be fucking, da-da-da. No, she wanted to be dominated. Whatever. And I fell into that category of, oh, I can tell you what to do. And I kind of like that role. So, like I said, them girls that's out there like that, holla at your boy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, man, Roundtable. We wildin', having a good time. Hope y'all staying safe out there. Got my boy Franke and Patrick behind the lenses, man. Getting all the footage. Love y'all. You're trying to convince me to keep doing this, but my wife saying no. So you know, if my wife say no, shit's over. It's over. So we gonna see though. We gonna see. But we gonna keep it moving, man. Shout out to Franke. Shout out to Patrick, man. They're doing a good job. Peace and love.
So what I don't understand is how people can sit there and say that women and men, they'll sit there and say they'll eat pussy, but they won't eat ass. Okay. First of all, listen. You know what? You know how some women aren't clean. You know how much dirty shit goes into a vagina? Bitches play with toys and don't clean them. They do they use inanimate objects to masturbate with. They fuck with dirty ass men when you don't know about it. And you sit there and eat a pussy. You sit there and eat a pussy, rooted to almost to the tutor, because you're scared of the ass. Because shit comes out the ass, but piss, blood, squirt, everything, blood comes out the pussy.
I don't even want to eat that.
But I'm just saying, like, if a clean person is a clean person, period.
Understand, bro.
If you clean all the way around. So if you can eat somebody's pussy and you feel like they're cleaning up, what's the difference between eating ass? I just want to know what the difference is. I don't know what the difference is.
There it is in the back.
Mama, come. Mama, come, cause Mama, come. Oh, she can't. Oh.
She said a vagina clean is
Ain't that what a vicious cycle is?
That's the period. That's the period. So then so when yeast infections, listen, because the vagina cleans itself, yeast infections, bacterial vaginosis, all that shit should be curable by the vagina by itself. But it can't be. You gotta go get antibiotics for that shit. So it doesn't clean itself that well.
Shit, well enough in the
I don't feel like that because you get that from fucking a lot or doing shit that isn't all the way clean. The vagina can't clean itself all the way.
Yeah, that's true.
You'll eat a bitch out with BV and you won't even know it because she just washed her shit a minute before you came over. But you ate that shit the fuck from all the way down there and she went a week later and found out she had BV. I'm just saying. There's a lot of ways to fake the funk, literally.
Yeah, so I will say this. I think men that just refuse to go down on a woman, women are little boys, but I think it's okay to be selective.
Of course, you have to be selective.
Yeah, I don't think a man should be doing it to every woman.
Because I'm a selective nigga. He'll tell you right in my life, I can assure you, I can't. So my situation is, I was on vacation. I got a chick knocked up, he'll tell you. I was on vacation with my brother when he was in college. I don't know her, right? So me, I had already said from the jump, like, I know I don't know you, and I financially provide and all that, and he'll tell you from the jump. And I've tried as hard as I have to be in my son's life. Now, we have a relationship, but it's not to the point where I would want it to. So to the point of what he's saying, she got married. I tried to have a conversation with the husband. And to his point, whatever, he came at me on something. Like, all I said was, I would feel uncomfortable if you touched him. That's it. It wasn't on some like aggressive shit. You know how I am. But I was about listen.
But I'm saying he's saying that politely, but I'm sure
I was
more
saying
than
this
that.
politely
Yeah.
as the hood niggas I can't.
Yeah.
I'm saying like I would be uncomfortable. Whatever, like if
because then shit's there's gonna be a reaction.
You came at it mature. You came at it mature manner.
Yeah, but to the point is because I don't have a relationship with her. To be fair, I was on vacation. I don't really know her. Right? Anyways,
good point.
So that point is what I'm saying is so me not having a relationship with her, I tried to be in a situation where I was like, okay, this is how you live. This is how I live. Right. Whatever. And I'm not going to try to like overstep. One, she lived in a whole other city. Again, I was out of town. Whatever. And I'm saying to myself, like, at the end of the day, I would not try to impose my will on anybody regardless. But this is what I personally believe. And certain things that I put forth have been ignored at the expense of the husband. And it's never bothered me because the money good. So you don't complain. And that's what I had mentioned earlier about, like, well, if you're successful, if this, that. Some women, like, if I was broke, I'd be in court right now fighting for my fucking life. He'll tell you, I went to fucking jail. Okay, I'm sorry, the court bring this up. But I went to jail because I missed the payment and I cussed the judge out because of a bitch I don't know. Excuse me, I don't usually talk like that, but it happened. And what I'm saying is, my whole life, I've been raised by women. I have never in my life went out of my way to disrespect anything like that. So to these brothers' point, when they're talking about these things here and there, I'm like, look, I understand it, but at the end of the day, it's like, what's more valuable? What you value as a person, or what this person says is right or wrong, or whatever the case is. So
it don't have to be volatile. What I'm saying is,
but it ended that way regardless.
That's what I'm saying. If you have a child, you're in a child relationship, I marry you, I say value you. That's my child.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
See, he said no. I respect
said
what
no.
he's saying. But I'm taking him in as my child.
Why you say no?
That's what I would do too. He's gonna live with me.
Are you saying no?
No, he said no.
No.
I mean, yeah, you're a child.
I
know what you're saying.
I agree with Tromonte.
I'm saying.
I get what you.
I
get
have an issue.
I agree with him.
If you have an issue with
but
your baby,
you're not gonna treat the children differently.
right? If you have an issue with your baby daddy, that's gonna affect our household.
But Tromonte,
I have to intervene.
But Tromonte, honestly, it depends on the person.
My biggest question is, what do you want to say to
It just depends on the person. You don't really need to, because listen, because
all I said was it would be uncomfortable if you hit it. That was all I said.
Yeah.
And it went from and you laugh because you know.
If your baby mom, if your baby mom, if your child's mother married someone else, you wouldn't tell the dude, I don't want to touch my child. No.
Why can't he tell the wife?
you trust the person.
You shouldn't even have to.
But that doesn't mean that because you tell the wife that's what's gonna happen in the household.
He shouldn't even have to say that.
This is like, and that's why, like, as parents, right? Like, that's why we're on the same accord.
Yes.
Even my daughter, anybody in my family know you touch my daughter, like, bitch is up. Like, everybody, nobody in my family will ever touch my daughter because they know how I raised her, and no one's to put their hand on her, right? So that goes even to her mom, and not like I run her mom, but her mom has never touched me because I said that, and that's why I say, like, as a man, dog, you can do these things with 90% of the women. You can set whatever ground rule off rip, and if a woman respects you enough, that fucking ground rule will run no matter what the fuck else she goes
Most women
not even gonna let this step.
Look, that's what I was about to say because I don't have kids. I don't have kids, but I had a stepfather. And my mother never put her hands on me. My stepfather never put his hands on me. My daddy never put his hands on me. My mother never had to say, don't put your hands on my child to my stepfather. My daddy never had to say that because it was an example in a household that situation didn't even have to be discussed.
And that's
so, yeah, like what?
And that was my point to what I was saying to you was, I said it, but that's not a standard that he lived by because his mom actually hits him. And that's something that from the jump I told her that I'm not on it. And he knows.
So your conversations with her.
I've always been like that.
Right. Your conversations with her, not with him.
Yeah, no.
That's a different situation.
That's what I was saying. All I said was to them as a married couple, this is something that I'm personally against. So if y'all hitting my son, I'm letting you know, like, I'm not like that. I have not once like been aggressive towards him. I've said, yo, you good? Like, because I'm in a situation where I'm like, okay, I see you, I get you, I take care of you, stuff like that. But you living there in another city with them, and this is how they run. So I'm trying to respect their household to a certain extent. But if he ever called me on some like, oh, I'm hurt, there you go. And
that's common sense though. That's like an unwritten rule that every parent knows. You don't put hands on no other person's child, period. That's just an unwritten rule.
Yeah, some parents don't because they probably beating their kids as they
I don't understand.
Yeah, he's been trying to talk.
I respect everybody's opinion what y'all saying. I go through that right now. The mother of my child, she's married. She lives in Jacksonville. So it's been time we've clashed. But it was at one point where I went to go get my baby. She brought dude with her, but she brought another nigga in the back seat.
She had two niggas?
No, listen. Listen. The point of it was because the thing is, you see how you look at my statue. The nigga he didn't fit my statue. So the nigga was already scared. The nigga was scared. So he brought his homeboy. But I looked him dead in his face as a man. I said, listen, I don't know you. I respect you as a man. But if you ever put your hands on my child, I'm going to kill you and that nigga in the backseat. You and that nigga in the backseat.
Hey,
period.
Can I interject?
You gotta say it.
Why does the child have to stay with the mom all the time?
Chill out.
Hey, bro, listen, bro. That's a rule. That's beyond me, dog.
What are you talking about?
That's not true. I know some fathers that have.
Because, bro, I'm active in my daughter's life, bro.
You gotta do the right shit.
Depends on the situation.
Yeah, I know 3 single fathers right now that have full custody of their children. So that's just
have y'all ever
you just
had
gotta do the
conversations
work.
with y'all baby mother or child's mother about getting y'all child?
Listen,
keeping like
listen.
Like, have that ever been?
Hold on, let me add. Wait.
I said, have you ever had a conversation with your child's mother about the child living with you instead?
I am successful. I'm okay saying that. So my son, mom, again, though I don't know her well, what I do know is the last conversation I had with her, she was like working at a hotel or some shit. I simply said, hey, what are the chances of maybe like for high school, I introduce them to something new because like you stay in Daytona Beach, it's a small town, it's a conservative city, whatever. Tampa, though you can have your opinions about it, compared to Daytona Beach, it's more progressive. Right. These things I know because I work here, I live here. Well, I'm saying I know opportunities for him to be involved in that can progress based on like where he's at there in a small city. These are conversations that she don't want to have because I was raised this way. This is how I am. My family's here. So I don't argue with it. I say, okay, you get all this money and you cool with it. And that's why I said earlier when it comes to money. Some women are okay with a check. Trust me. I'm done talking for the day.
My man.
But, okay, hey, you got the camera right here? Hey, put this shit on me. I swear to God, on everything I love, I don't give a fuck if I'm completely broke. If it comes to my daughter, I'm in court, I got a lawyer. Motherfuckers don't really want to fight for their rights.
They're not allowed to fight that.
Listen, I understand it's women out here that makes it hard for men to be in their daughter's life.
Well, I went
and all that. Listen, but I don't give a fuck what I gotta do. When it comes to my daughter, these three will tell you, when it comes to my daughter, it ain't nothing on this earth. I don't give a fuck what it is, who it is. I'm going through brick walls. Y'all gotta start doing that shit.
I'm doing that now, bro. To speak on that, I've been doing that for the last. To speak on that, I've been doing that for the last couple of years. But the only difference, the mother of my child works for DCF.
One of those situations.
So that's who the lady I need to talk to. Exactly.
Case manager, supervisor. So definitely reach out to me because every person has equal rights.
And we go.
So all of that is BS. It's all on the effort that you're gonna put in to get your child. And that's that.
So you said I should take
I've been on that for F. I need to
No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
You do take him. And the police get involved. You are the father. So the child will be with you until y'all go to family court.
To be fair, as I've said to them in private, so this has always been my thing. I have never wanted to drag this out in court because the last time I went to court, I lost my temper on stuff that's simple. All I said was, you live in Daytona, I live in Tampa. Literally, Orlando is an hour both ways. Right. There's literally nothing to discuss.
Right.
And because the judge wanted me to drive 2 hours, I'm like, you don't understand how demanding my job is. I have a career. I don't work at motherfucking McDonald's. Okay, and I'm not knocking anybody if you work at McDonald's or whatever, but I work hard to get to where I'm at. And he can attest I slept on motherfucking floors and all that other shit. I am not by any means about to take a step backwards because you ain't got your shit together.
Right.
I've asked you, yo, let him come live with me. I'm good over here. Nope. Okay. You want to work at Burger King, work doubles, and all this other stupid shit like
Can I
that?
ask a question? Can I ask a question?
If you choose to struggle, thank you.
Can I ask a
That's
question?
on you. But I can't like be a part of that. And then I've had friends that have said, "Oh, you ain't trying for your son." Why?
Shit.
Because I don't want to sit up there and spend thousands of dollars in court.
No, I got a question.
To do something that's motherfucking simple.
No, I got a question. But listen. Sometimes with court situations, you have to do certain things initially in the beginning. In the long run, it'll pay off. Like that extra hour, you blow an hour on your phone just sitting on the toilet. You know what I'm saying? You can sit on the toilet on your phone and blow an hour. That extra hour ain't gonna do shit when it comes to your kid. I'm not saying she can't put more effort into it. Because she can, she definitely can. But when it comes to court situations, when you're trying to get full custody in the long run, there's certain things that you gotta sacrifice. 1 hour, I don't feel like is.
Out of what? Out of what? What are we talking about?
I'm talking about what time were you trying to pick your child up? There's an extra hour in your full day that you can allot. There's 20. That's what I'm saying. There's 2 hours that you're saying that is taken out of your time. Okay. So 8 hours in a week. Listen. 8 hours in a week. This is 8 hours in a week, and this is your child spending time with your child.
You can lose your job.
I mean, it's 8 hours in a week that you're sacrificing to spend time with your child.
You're talking about somebody that grew up poor, and you want me to chance losing a $100,000 job? No.
8 hours in 1 week is gonna lose $100,000.
The hard rock has strict rules.
I am contracted as a model and an actor.
How long are the shifts?
Listen, I work overnights. My days are available.
That's all I'm saying, Jalesa.
My days are
It's
literally
8 hour
open.
shift, right?
And I have said to this woman, hey, I'm open during the day. I'm not available.
You
at
could
night.
get your child
and
and
she
come back
won't
home
make
before you
days
have to go back to
available,
work.
and you work during the fucking day. So tell me that that's not effort.
I'm gonna do
if
whatever
I'm
to
telling
my
you I work
child.
overnight, most people are sleeping when I'm working.
Should people, so to what you're saying, it looks like you chose a bad woman.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I'm sorry.
Hey, so it's some pros to one night stands, but it's a lot of cons.
Choose wisely.
People change though.
I want to say this, I'm 33, this shit happened when I was 19.
just saying, my thing is, I'm not trying to like downplay your job or anything like that. I'm not trying to make it seem like you're not putting in work or like you're not, you know, I'm sure you saying you're financially smart.
I've been doing it since 19.
No, I feel you. No, and that's something to be, you know, feel accomplished about, because that's a big accomplishment. Niggas aren't doing that. And I'm not taking away from that. I'm just saying, like, sometimes you gotta do that little extra legwork sometimes. Just so in the long run, like a year from now, if you were to take that, listen to me. Because everybody goes to jail. Everybody has trauma. Everybody does shit.
Everybody don't go to jail for their child. Because I literally went there. Let me tell you the story. Since we all.
But you're not the only one. But you're not the only one. But you're not the only one. There's other people. There's other people. And there's people that moved on. There's people that moved on.
3 times.
There's people. 3 times. And what are you doing? You're still working, right? You're still working, right?
I went to another city on good faith.
How long were you in jail?
Let me say, I went there. It don't matter. I went there on good faith. Jail is jail. Thank you.
There you go.
Niggas in there.
You got out that bitch.
I was in jail. Fuck how long?
You got out that bitch.
I never.
You got out that bitch.
I'm just saying, like, y'all be exaggerating. Not exaggerating. That's the wrong word. I'm not trying to say exaggerate. But I'm just saying.
I went in there with the intentions of trying to work it out in family court. And literally everything I threw out, pay more money, spend more time, do all this shit. And then when it happened, no, she didn't want to bid nothing because, oh no, this is how it's gonna be.
That's your
this
lawyer.
Is my rule. This is that. This that.
That's your lawyer.
Okay. Lawyer or not, that's the person.
No, that's your lawyer. Your lawyer ain't gonna let those shit fly like that.
And say they're hot behind a lawyer when that's really you as the person.
You need a better lawyer.
You sitting up here telling me, oh, it's a lawyer. Yeah, because that's the motherfucker that you hired. Whatever. That's not you as a person. You could simply say, hey, I want to do right by my
But
child.
you know that's not the person that she is. You know that. It's been years. It's been years. So once you know that as a person that you can't, that person doesn't have the capacity to be cool like that.
With you. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. That since I've been 19, even when I was piss poor, working doubles and shit, this nigga can attest that I've been giving money to my son.
I'm not saying you're not doing that.
Listen, putting him through college and all this other shit. And literally, she has been like, oh, you need to do more. You need to do. Bitch, you work at a motherfucking hotel.
But listen,
But she got that child. She got that child all the time.
No, but listen, that's not even. That don't even. No, but that don't even matter. Listen, at the end of the day.
On a daily basis.
Listen, at the end of the day. Listen, at the end of the day.
Sandwiches and all that shit.
No, but listen, at the end of the day, a lot of people did that too. A lot of people have grown up poor. I'm not trying to downplay what you've been through, but I'm saying it's all about how you move. It's all about how you move past the trauma, how you move forward. Listen, everybody has a sob story. Everybody on this planet. Listen, and I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like, and I'm telling you, everybody has gone through a similar situation as yours and moved forward. There's people that have moved forward.
So you trying to tell me that niggas that went to jail for working for over 10, 15 years, right?
You weren't in jail for 15 years over your child. You just said it doesn't matter about the time, so you don't want to say it.
15 years?
You've been trying, but you weren't in jail, nigga. Come on, be real. How long were you in jail? How long have you been in jail? You were in jail for like 3 days, nigga. Calm down. Like, I'm saying, listen to what I'm saying. I'm not downplaying anything you do as a man or as a father. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying sometimes there's little sacrifices that you have to make so that in the long run, 8 hours in a week is a sacrifice for your child. 8 hours in a week. That's a sacrifice for your kid. Women sacrifice more than 8 hours in a week for their child without thinking about that shit.
Can I ask you a question? Just honestly. Like, okay, so if for a living you were, let's say, what do they call the person that travel?
Listen, you don't have. Listen, I understand all the scenarios. Do you not have 8 hours in your full work schedule?
I'm telling you exactly my lifestyle.
I understand your lifestyle. Do you not have 8 hours in your work schedule to commit to your child? So then why are you trying to get your child full time? So then how can you afford to have your child full time?
Because I have the money to provide services.
Nannies and shit like that. That's not like. I mean, come on now.
Oh yeah, I don't got kids. I gotta argue.
She think that because I make more money, she deserves more money. That's stupid shit.
Yeah, that is, and I'm not saying I'm not downplaying that. That's not what I'm communicating.
Let's talk about what things are you willing to compromise when it comes to a relationship, when it comes to sex, right? So, what are things that some people like to have sex?
I got something to say. Let me make this quick.
Okay,
so I think. Hey, I think oral sex overrated.
That's so wide.
I always
the top.
Nah,
What?
no,
I want the whole.
Hey,
that's
something. I'm not.
I want both too.
After that, I want some more.
Oral sex. Hey, oral sex is fine.
Bitch, they don't know.
But
They don't know. They don't know.
I'm not one of those dudes where I'm like, I'm just cool with oral sex. I would rather, if I had to choose, I would rather have pussy than oral sex.
Okay.
No. You give a hot good, you give head.
Hey, listen, bro.
No,
I don't know about that. There are some real shit.
I don't care. I don't care how good a woman head is. I need the jump.
So is that vice versa too? Like, are you like that too? Like, because you feel that way about you're not really caring about head. Do you feel like you don't put in as much energy to give head because you don't feel like you need?
No, I'm not like that.
Okay.
I'll give if you.
Well, then,
I'm understanding. I'll give if you need it, if you want it. But I'm not like that.
But you gotta understand the word overrated, right? Like,
Yeah,
overrated changes the argument of what you're saying, right? Like if you say which one I would rather have, it's pussy. But when you say overrated, it's like placing a certain value on it. That head is like way up here, and it doesn't need to be way up here. That bitch needs to be.
Nah, no, it don't. Not me.
No, for real.
Hey, look at
A lot of women can only come from clitoral stimulation.
That's
So
I get missed that. So many men miss that.
I said a lot of women can only come from like clitoral stimulation. So
She's right.
men don't realize that like
She's right.
head is kind of sometimes
gotta
head is
fuck
more
her
important
stomach.
for women. I said there's some
Women,
women.
but you ain't been with the
You can
right
look it
guy.
up statistically. The majority of women come from clitoral stimulation than from penetration, and that's just statistics. You can look that up. The numbers are out there.
That means you gotta wet that beard up.
We're just nice as fuck. We're just nice as fuck to a lot of y'all, but we're not coming for real. We ain't coming for real. We're just nice as fuck to a lot of y'all, but we really ain't coming for real.
She tough.
Bitches got great Kegels. Kegel muscles, bitch. Period. A bitch ain't really coming for real. That's the fact.
The thing is, with oral sex, women like it so much, they'd rather have that than have sex.
I wouldn't.
Not me.
Like y'all mentioned, like you want to control the situation.
I never said I
don't
want to control the situation.
Yeah, me
But
neither.
to your point, that's why when I did the whole love languages thing,
What's your love language?
that was so my first one is what is it? Words of affirmation. So yeah, and I didn't know that because I always.
Where did that come from? Because your love language is usually something that you haven't gotten as a child or sometimes.
Yeah. So to the point, my mom to this day has never told me I'm 33. My mom has never said I love you. Now I know my mom loves me, but it's always I think because my mom had me at 19, stuff like that. Like, it's always been this weird relationship where she'll be like, "You good? Okay, cool."
That's all that she.
Yeah,
that's
she
all
just
she
be like,
knows.
"Oh, you good? Cool."
Yeah.
But my grandma, I love you. My uncles, I love you. Dad, I love you. Sisters, all that.
Yeah.
But my mom, 33 years, not one time, but she said I love you.
Okay,
Now,
that's why
I
you
ain't
need
even
that, yeah.
mad at it, but to the point of what y'all saying,
Yeah.
like I never like thought about that, but that's probably it.
Yeah.
People
So when
need-
people like say like nice things or like they speak like what
Life
I call
into
like life-giving words into you, whatever. Like I always appreciate it, whatever, because I'm like that. Like as much as I joke around, like in private, like most of the time I'm a serious person. Like I typically speak life into people because, as he know, like my best friend, my brother got killed when we was teenagers. So to this day, when we talk about trauma, which is why I didn't want to talk about it, that fucked with me to this day because he was a good man. And while I was in the streets and doing all that wild shit, he was never like that. And I was really like that. And to this day, I always question God, like, why a nigga like that go? And I was really out here doing crazy shit. And this nigga was singing in the choir. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, or whatever.
Sometimes God shakes stuff up to get you moving.
So when y'all talk about abandonment and childhood trauma, until you deal with childhood trauma, whether it's big or small, it might be something small like, oh, my mama didn't do this, she didn't say she loved me and stuff like that. Until you deal with that trauma, it's going to affect you in the future when you're dealing with relationships, all that stuff. Y'all have to address all those things.
So listen, my thing is like when you know where your trauma stems from, right?
Yeah.
You know like why you move certain ways because of this situation or this situation, but you choose to still keep moving the same way. Like how do you like break down to a person like, I don't want to say it rudely, but motherfucker, like you old now, like
to it. They
like how do you say it without sounding? Because I don't know how to.
You can't put a time frame on it.
It's a time frame.
You can't run nobody else's race for them.
They have to want to do it themselves.
If you're in a relationship,
But
you can give them a time frame.
But I'm saying I'm not even a time frame, Tromonte. Not even a time frame. And it's like not even my thing is like I'm not saying change. My thing is like I'm not saying change like right now. Like I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like do you want to start making steps to like move?
But see, a lot of times, like I was in a long-term relationship, and a lot of stuff, like I would always try to please people, and just
Because you're a people pleaser.
Because what I said earlier, you wasn't here when I said it, but you didn't want them to leave. Yeah, I had that conversation.
So that's why I said like he said, you can't put a timetable on that because some people don't even understand the concept of. Damn, why am I like this?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but some people do understand.
But some people don't.
Some people do get it. Like if I sit here,
A lot of people want to be a victim.
But you can talk to somebody about it beforehand, and then they let it linger. Like they don't actually try to fix it. I'm going.
But some people, especially the older you get, you ever heard the saying that they stuck in their ways?
But you don't have to tolerate that.
Listen, you only get one life. I'm not going to wait forever.
I agree with that. But I'm not talking about the relationship. He talking about something different. I'm talking about it just in general. A lot of the reason that marriages fail, relationship fails now is because people don't have inner peace. I heard him say something earlier about people care about the outside things. Oh, I got a good ass job, I make good money, but do you love yourself? Can you really? I ain't talking about the way you look, I ain't talking about your body, I ain't talking about what you got to offer.
You love the person that you
You
is.
can't be with anybody until you love yourself.
But most people don't love themselves.
Exactly.
But some people,
Do y'all love yourself here?
I do. I love myself.
I'll be the first to say after doing therapy and all that shit like that, it changed my life. So fuck that, I love me.
So you're not gonna get in a committed relationship until you feel.
After my dad.
100% in everything.
Some people are not willing to.
But sometimes it takes something traumatic because for a long time I'm like, this is who I am. But when my dad passed and then my biological sister passed 6 months later, and then I got out of a 10-year relationship, I was like, well, damn.
Can you marry somebody that don't love themselves?
No, that's why.
How do you identify that though?
So
how do you identify that?
My experiences, but I do want to say that I am pro mental health. Not only because of my degree, but I do want to let y'all know, like when you're venting is not therapy. Venting is that you just telling somebody a situation. Psychology is a science. So if you need help and you really want to heal, you need to see a therapist.
A professional.
Psychiatrist. And the reason being is because you are creating a plan to heal from your trauma. Venting to somebody is not creating a plan to heal from
I
your
think
trauma.
it just makes them create expectations.
To follow and put their work into it. And healing takes time. So don't think because somebody started therapy that they're going to be fixed. It takes time.
But they're doing what it takes to get there instead of being.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Someone that's taking the initiative.
What if somebody, y'all know somebody, if y'all dating somebody, and you know they're going through something, but they don't want to go to therapy, how long you going to wait?